Hi guys, how's it going? Once you get in here, let me know if you're watching the replay or if you can even hear me. Like, I have no idea. So a lot of you guys know that I'm Amy. Hi, I'm your local crazy oil lady. Um, but we've been oiling for a year and a half, and I just want to share with you guys where we've come from, where we were a year and a half ago, and where we are today, and then where we're going, which is really exciting. So where we were before, you guys know that Tony has dealt with a lot of residual pain from whenever he broke his neck in combat, and he's medically retired from the Army. And so in the past year and a half, he's healed. Like, he is healed to the point where he can now go fly again. He was, when he was medically retired, he was devastated and very depressed because he wasn't able to fly anymore. It's his passion. And now, since he's been oiling up his neck every day he did Panaway and Copaiba for 6 months, and now his favorite is Deep Relief Roll-On. And he rubs it on every day. It helps him not tense up whenever he drives, and so that doesn't trigger a pain response through his neck. So he's happy because now he's flying again, and so I'm always happy about him being happy. And with Peace and Calming, he puts it on his hands whenever he drives, so that drive isn't triggering his Army anger. So whenever he comes home at night, he's not angry dad, he's happy dad. And he's actually able to move and function and move his arms. So he's able to play softball with the girls. He's able to coach our daughter's softball team, which he wasn't able to do before. And so healing him alone would have been worth the investment of these oils into our lives. For myself, when I became a mom, I feel like I didn't sleep ever. Not just because my kids were crying in the middle of the night, but because I was constantly on edge thinking something's wrong, something's going to happen, something's going to happen. I'm constantly listening for every little cry, every little sound, every owl chirping and bird and everything outside. And so I didn't know that I wasn't sleeping until I got Peace and Calming in my diffuser. And normally I would lay awake for 2 hours worrying about what's going to happen in 5 years. When are we going to be debt free? Are we going to be able to do this for Christmas? Are we going to be able to do this for our family? Our parents are getting older. What's going to happen in 5 years, 10 years? What's going to happen to all these things? Like, all these things would run through my mind. My mind would not shut off whenever I would go to sleep. And now it does. Within 15 minutes, this stuff hits every cell of my body and I'm out like that. Not only that, but I'm able to stay asleep. Before, it would take me like 2 to 3 hours to fall asleep, and then I would wake up at 2, at 3, at 4, finally just stay awake at 5 instead of trying to go back to bed. And so now I sleep all night long. When this diffuser shuts off after 4 hours, I literally roll over and go back to bed because it stays in my body for another 4 hours after that. So I love being able to sleep. Also, I before wasn't able to breathe. Since living in Texas, seasons change, and with it, things pollinate. And so I'm unable to breathe. I was on so many medications that I couldn't think. I thought I just had baby brain. And so I wasn't able to think. I was lethargic and tired all the time. Now I'm on nothing. And I have roll-ons that I can roll on whenever I can't breathe. I have capsules of oils that I can take whenever I need breathing support. And it's just lemon, lavender, peppermint, and copaiba. It's just 4 ingredients instead of all these ingredients that I can't pronounce. So I took 3 capsules a day for 3 weeks and went off of everything, and I'm able to breathe, and I'm able to think, and I'm able to function. I have all this energy. I have energy because I drink Ningxia Red every day. Like, that's amazing. And it keeps us healthy. Like, before, I was sick from November to April every single year as a teacher. And last February, when we got started, we were sick when we got started. Within a day, we were no longer. And we haven't been sick since last February 2nd. So all of last winter, when everybody was getting all this crud, We didn't. It was amazing. We still had energy and we could go do things and we didn't want to just sit on the couch all day. So for my family to be just healthy and be able to think clearly, this would be worth it. For my oldest daughter, she has like performance issues. Like she doesn't want to speak in front of people. She doesn't want to do any of that stuff. When she would play softball before, she would just stand there at the bat with the bat and just stare and be frozen. Like she wouldn't be able to swing. She wouldn't be able to run, any of that stuff. Last season, when Tony coached her, thanks to Valor, which gives her courage, she was able to swing and hit the ball twice in a game, which is crazy. And now she's able to talk to adults, which she's never been able to do before. Like even our family is surprised that she's able to talk to them fully so much because she's not afraid anymore. And so that's huge for her. She also hit her first cycles because she hit that age. And so she's not like a crazy hormonal teenager because we have things that can smooth out everything. And she can just chill out and not be a crazy person. I use those same products, those same oils, so that I'm not a crazy person whenever our cycles are synced up. Isn't that wonderful? But the icing on the cake is what it's done for my youngest daughter. She used to have these freakouts, these tantrums all the time. They would last 3 to 5 hours. She would have 3 to 5 a day, and each one would last 1 hour each. And it was because she had traumatic brain injury from when she fractured her skull 2 inches across and 2 inches down while we lived in Mexico City. And that was the scariest thing I've ever had to deal with as a mom. I didn't know traumatic brain injury had happened until a year after the event. I had no idea that that's what was going on with her until I started realizing that, and still we started homeschooling a year after her injury. Hi. And then I was able to get all these tests done, all these doctors done. This was in the 6 months before we started using oils. None of them were helping. Like they didn't know what was wrong with her. They didn't know which medication to give her. They just kept referring me to this specialist, referring me to this specialist, referring me to this specialist. And it was this ongoing cycle of going to all these doctors and having her like freak out and just freeze and not talk to all these doctors about all the stuff that was going on. And when we got started with oils on February 2nd, she fell in love with Stress Away. And so she wanted Stress Away in the diffuser, and it would sit on the desk when she would do homeschool stuff, and she would lean over and just breathe it in. And she, within 4 months, by May, I kept track of how many freakouts she had. She had one, and it lasted 10 minutes, had no tears, had no flitting of the eyes, had no frozen in fear, none of that. She started to breathe deep, sat down beside the couch, breathed in deep, picked up a book and read. She's never been able to do that before. And so she later told us that she went to get knives a couple of times to hurt herself because of how depressed she was and how she was just in the lowest, where everything is wrong, nothing is working right. And that was all before we got started with this. And so I will straight up tell you that that is my why. That is my story. That is why I will use these products every day for the rest of our lives, because it is worth it to me to have her back to being her happy self, to have her not want to hurt herself, to have her happy-go-lucky, fearless child back. We still deal with some of the sensory processing things. We're still learning some of that. Like it's a learning process. As she gets older, things are going to change. As I hit 32, my hormones completely changed. I was able to fix that when the doctors had no idea what was going on with my hormones. They ran like 4 different tests and couldn't tell me what was going on, but I was able to research it, figure it out, and use a protocol to support that. And now everything's even out. Like this stuff is mind-blowing, amazing. And I'm so excited about our future because I've seen what's changed in the past year and a half. A year and a half, all that's changed. That's mind-blowing to me. What have you done in the past year and a half? What has changed for you? I want to know. Tell me. Bye, guys.